There's been a number of developments in tech this week. Joining us now to talk more about this is tech analyst Carmi Levi. Carmi, Google stock rose while Meta stock plunged this week, both tied to artificial intelligence spending. Can you talk more about this?
Yeah, I mean, I think, Google, they hit a number of milestones this past quarter. They hit $100 billion in revenue in a quarter for the first time. And even more importantly, all of their divisions, and so think search-based advertising, cloud, showed record revenue and record year-over-year growth. And this is important because a lot of people have been saying that Google is very vulnerable to the growth of companies like OpenAI and other pure AI firms, because obviously Google has the most to lose. It's Google's business model that is most exposed to the rise of AI. And so everyone's been looking to Google almost as a bellwether. How is the traditional internet business going to do as AI continues to encroach on that territory? Google, of course, walking a bit of a high wire, building its Gemini-based AI business while it still tries to maintain its search business as well. Well, it looks like they're pulling that off and then some. Their search business isn't just growing, it's growing at a record pace as they continue to invest more in AI. Also, at the same time, their cloud business, they are the only cloud platform in the last 2 weeks that has not had a major meltdown. Microsoft and Amazon both did. Google's comes out looking like a hero, and that business is also showing strong double-digit growth year over year. And so literally this company is firing on all cylinders. That explains why investors are essentially all in, looking to buy as much as they can. It's a bit of a different story on the Meta side, because Meta is in the same business. They have a core business, social media, that is also being upended by AI. But unfortunately, their performance not as strong as Google. So they beat their revenue estimates, but their earnings were actually down year over year, which is obviously not the direction they want to go. They also took a $16 billion charge on a tax bill, and the company used that as an excuse, saying, well, if it wasn't for the tax bill, we would have had a much better quarter. But investors look at this and they figure this, the company should be planning for this. They should be more upfront with investors. They should be more transparent. That was not the case. This came as a bit of a surprise, and as a result, they're heading for the exits.
Trump met with the Chinese president this week. Where does the TikTok deal stand after the meeting?
We've been hearing for weeks, both from Trump as well as members of his inner cabinet, that they've reached a final agreement, that they're near the finish line, that, that all that remains is to sign the deal, that we have a deal. And yet, Donald Trump meets with President Xi Jinping and we don't have a final deal. China says it will continue to work toward something, but they're not committing anything. That actually is the most they've said about TikTok in months. Rather famously, China opposed any deal. China did not want to sell the American operations of the company to an American owner, did not want to license the algorithm, did not want to give up any Chinese technology, and has been seen as a grudging partner in these negotiations. And so China's relative silence and its non-final confirmation that they're moving forward suggests that we may not be as close to a TikTok final deal as the Trump administration suggests that we are. Of course, it's Donald Trump's option to delay the deadline again if he wishes, but promising that a deal is in the offing and then not actually signing anything, it's kind of classic for this administration, and it suggests that the TikTok saga, now 6 years and running, is going to run for a little bit longer.
Elon Musk launched Grokipedia this week, and there's been lots of talk about this. What are your thoughts on his version of Wikipedia?
Replacing, a beloved internet resource that's crowdsourced, millions of editors around the world contribute to it, human editors, with what is essentially an AI-ified version of it. And we know that Elon Musk is a bit of a self-professed free speech absolutist. His Grok large language model very famously does not have guardrails built in, very famously goes rogue far more frequently than competing platforms. You would expect the same kind of performance from Grokipedia, where, automated bots that have no controls, relative to Wikipedia, which is a bunch of dedicated human editors. And so I think for a lot of people, they're watching it with interest because anytime Elon Musk releases anything, of course you have to watch. But will it be as trusted a resource for the billions of people around the world who rely on it? Unclear at this point. Also unclear is whether Grokipedia will be indexed to the same degree in both search engines and chat bots as Wikipedia is. And so no evidence that that is happening just yet. And as a result, it could very well be yet another announcement from Elon Musk that gets a lot of attention, but over the years doesn't really play out in adoption by millions of dedicated users.
Microsoft Azure experienced an outage earlier this week. This comes after Amazon's outage last week. Can we expect more of these to happen now?
We have very quietly become very dependent on cloud-based services. If you think about what software used to be, it used to be something that you bought in a box with a bunch of disks in it, and then you installed it on whatever device you had. Whereas today, software is something that we download the app onto our devices from an app store, or we open up a browser and we sign in via the web. The cloud is essentially how we run our computing services today, and when the cloud goes down, we are significantly affected. We thought that the internet was more robust than it was. We thought that it could take a hit like this, and we learned with the AWS and Microsoft Azure outages that it's very vulnerable to a global outage that starts in a single computer in a single data center, in this case in the US. And so I think this is a lesson to all of us. We are all highly dependent on cloud services, becoming more so by the day. We have to have a backup plan in place.
That's all the time we have today. Thank you for joining us, Carmi.
So great being with you. Thanks so much.